You know you ain't.
You wanna get up?
You know you can't. You know you ain't. You know you can't.
Buongiorno, one and all, and welcome to episode 15 of the Moontalkers podcast. I know I've been gone for a minute because I was like, oh, wait, hold on. I'll be back next week. And then I wasn't, but you know, life be lifing out here. As you can see, I've got another guest to my right or left. I never know which one it is. Left is this side. To my left, Jarryl, back on the show. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, good to be back. Thank you for having me back.
Of course. I needed to because the vibes was just vibing before. Yes, I went.
Agreed.
Hey. If anyone needs to come back on, it's my guy, and especially because of what we're talking about today, it's the perfect guy. Yeah. So
Appreciate
before
it.
before we get into the news, we will be covering the American Dream. Yeah, the 5-part miniseries covering the life of the Jacksons up to the Victory Tour. We'll just be going over what happened in it, what actually happened, what didn't happen, what they changed for the film, and comparing it to the new Michael movie, some of the differences that there are, and some of the things that you can kind of find in there that you're not going to find in Michael. But first, let us get into the news.
In the news today.
Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to read all about it.
In our first news story of the day, Chicago has broken into the Billboard charts. Can you believe it?
I love it. It came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. I was expecting that for the likes of, say, Human Nature, Beat It, because what's it called? Billie Jean just went to #1 in like so many places. So it's like the usual suspects. I expect Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, but Chicago, okay, yeah, go Chicago.
Chicago reaching number 30 on the Billboard Hot 100 after becoming popular on TikTok through this video, which I'm going to play it now. I ain't got it now, but I'll play it so you lot can see if you don't know already.
Yeah.
For me, this video was hilarious. I was like, where did this video even come from? The first time I saw it, and it already had like hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, why has it got so many? And of course it does, because this is a classic, just internet kind of, the internet being the internet kind of video. Like, what's going on? Why are these birds dancing? What's the look at the moves. Now you need to do the handle, man. What? You gotta do the thing. Like, I'm like, yeah. I'm bare happy that this is tried, because I love this song. I think it's new. Like, I like both the original version and the Escape version. So
Me too.
I'm happy that it's kind of seeing this resurgence right now.
Yeah, same. I've always, I remember the big deal of like, because that's one I remember before, and while Michael was alive, I don't remember hearing that song in full, but I remember hearing about it. And I remember when it was like you get snippets, like A Place with No Name. I remember the snippets of that, the 30 seconds, the 1 minute, and then the greatness it felt to with Escape, again, the deluxe version where you got the remix and the original. This was great. Either way, like you, it's one of those. Because it's funny, A Place with No Name is the original is my favorite thing that's come from Escape. It's my favorite thing that album has brought out. But Chicago is probably the one I like, the remix version and the original. Like, it's the only one that's balanced like that. So I'm loving it's getting its flowers right now.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with that. That might be the only song where I really like both the Escape version and the original version. Because like Place with No Name, I love the original version. I hate the remix.
Same. I learned to stomach it. Is what it was, because it's like I appreciated that.
I can't
I
even. I can't even.
I get that.
Nah,
Right. It sounded so. What's it called? Tesla commercial.
yeah, yeah. Which is funny because the video kind of looks like a car commercial as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't like that one at all.
Yeah.
But Chicago, I'm trying to think of the other tracks like Escape. Escape is another one I actually like
Yeah.
both of them.
Same.
Escape, yeah.
Loving what's funny, Loving You. I love the original. I don't remember what the remix sounds like, which means I never play it.
It's got I think it's got the drums.
Yeah.
It's doing something like that.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, something like that. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I prefer the original.
Original.
Yeah,
Same.
but those two, I say it's about even. Even though Escape,
Agreed.
the original I really like the original because that's one of the early
Yeah.
songs that back in the day leaked, and I had it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the sometimes I feel like I gotta get away. I love that bit, and it's not in the remix. I'm like, what?
Right. That was worth keeping.
Yeah, 100%. In our next story, Netflix. I didn't speak about this last time because I was like, why am I even going to speak about this for or whatever? But they've released their documentary, The Verdict. It came out on the 3rd of June. As you may have seen, a whole bunch of fans online were cancelling their Netflixes. They were running the cancel Netflix. Netflix is against Michael. Even Tyrese put that long essay post saying, leave Michael Jackson alone. Like, do you know what I'm saying? His leave Britney alone, but leave Michael alone.
Yes.
And then even though the documentary actually came out and it was their most watched show in that week or whatever, it didn't do the numbers that they were hoping that it would do. And even their stock price went down since the announcement of the documentary. Their stock's been falling. I don't know if that's coincidental or it just happened to be. Yeah, but that's what's happened. Yeah, Mike stocks, they're on the up at the minute.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you're doing the anti-Mike thing, it might not work for you right now.
Right. It's not the time.
You haven't watched it, have you?
I have not. I will eventually, because I don't like when people weaponize what you haven't seen as a real. Well, then you can't just disclaim. You can't just say how much you don't like this because you won't see it. But it's that thing of like, I know about Diane Diamond though. I know about Martin Bashir though. I know enough. I don't think this is gonna break any new ground for me. A great example of that. I was having a discussion or debate with a friend about the Netflix. It started about the Netflix series, and he brought up the 60 Minutes thing, and he let me and the other person who we were on the same side. I don't know this person, but he let both know. I want you both to stop what you're saying. Go watch the Casio family 60 Minutes Australia piece. And I feel like we can't continue this conversation until you both have seen that. And at first I was very strong in, I know them. Well, not literally, but we know the paper trail. We know the history. Some of us have the books. I never had them. I used to want the book when it was new. Then no, they were the fake album, the fake tracks put a bad taste in my mouth when it came to them for years, years before we got here. And it was just so telling. It was so telling their true motivations with it. And so, but for this friend, I watched the 60 Minutes, and again, no new takeaways. No. It was a thing of like, we want to be moved by performance. I'm trying to tell you the facts and the stats and things. And so that's always my thing. People go with don't let the performance, real or not, because that was their thing. You don't want to just write on real or not. Don't let the performance do the work. You do the work. You read the details. You look into the histories of lies. So yeah.
I haven't watched it. I might watch it through alternative methods. Just basically for the same reason you're saying. But obviously, from what even when it came, I was like, this is going to be the same documentary I watched in 2009, in 2013, in 2006, or whatever, with whatever jury members. They might be changing their mind or saying, "Oh, I'm not going to say he never done anything with kids, but in this case, it doesn't look like it," or whatever. Like
Right.
they were advertising it as if we've got some exclusive kind of thing that you've never seen before. It's just the same shit on a different day. Like I'm just even less so. I don't know if you saw the clip with Thomas Mesro on Piers Morgan, where he basically was like, why am I going to go on this documentary when they're just basically, it's a time of positive Michael stuff. You can see it's a money grab, and basically what new information is there that wasn't in a documentary that's already come out and covered this case. You can't even cover this case in a documentary at the length that you're showing it at. Like, this is months and months of testimony that the jury had to think, and you're not going to be able to convey that. So why am I going to come on your documentary when it's probably going to be anti anyway? I was like, what on the Mez? What do you know about Mesero, fam? Nah.
Agreed. And it's like the thing is too, the Martin Bashir of it all, he did. It's a great thing that you and I didn't have to watch this to learn that Martin Bashir is still Martin Bashir, and that editing the narrative, editing the context is his thing, is consistently his thing. And that's the whole point of this, is to try to shape a new narrative. They're giving nothing and trying to sow doubt. That's the funny part. That's always the funny part with the extreme of team anti-Michael, is that shaping the narrative is quite literally all they have. And so they are not clever about their edits. And the funny thing is, they want to push the narrative that the trial was, the trial, we had them. They never had them. Never had them. When you know the trial stuff, when you know the trial breakdowns, when you know how hard they had to try to find anything, and they just could not find anything cohesive and consistent, they never had a chance. And the friend, their thing was like, why did Michael Jackson, why did he look so sad and so much like he was expecting a guilty verdict on that last day? It's like, because he didn't expect to get a fair trial. The same reason most Black people, but I'd also argue most people in general, I know I'm not guilty, but damn it, I don't know what y'all. I don't even care how well my trial would be going. I don't know about you. I'd be nervous as hell with that deliberation, with that verdict reading, and I don't know what y'all are talking about and what y'all are running with and everything. Yeah. So even that's why you look nervous for that. That's why you look out of it for that, because I would. It's like, yeah.
And that's another point that Mesro made in that Piers Morgan clip. In fact, I might as well just stick the clip here, but verbatim, he was basically saying that the jury, there was no Black people on the jury. They were all ex-military, teachers, whatever, and all white. So the fact that he got away cleared on all counts, you can't turn around and say it was a race thing, or it was this, or it was that. The evidence was presented, and the evidence that was presented showed that he was not guilty of the crimes committed, and the jury agreed with that. Do you know what I'm saying? So, what more do you need? Unless there was any other revelations, unless you was come with some Gavin Arvizo was admitting that he tried shit or something like that, then what do we need another documentary for?
Seriously.
Right. Next story. The Michael movie has just crossed 900 million. The reports are saying. The reports are saying, yeah, we're this far from a Billy, people. We're this far. Yeah, the good thing is that because usually this is the time where, especially when the digital releases starts coming, it has got its digital release on like premium digital release where you can buy the film. But it's not available on streaming yet until I think July 14th. But it's basically still in cinemas. Like most cinemas, most local places, they've still got it. I have a feeling because it's June and we've got June 13th and we've got June 25th, both in the calendar, that we're going to see another spike happen in that time. And I feel like the Billy's coming. Especially since I think it got 50 million. It got 50 million in its first week in Japan. So obviously that's still going to run for 2-3 weeks or whatever. So yeah, it's looking like it could, it's creeping. It's going to be tight. But I think he's gonna make it. Believe.
I think so too. Quick question: how many times have you seen it personally?
3 times.
Ah, nice. So I've done it twice, but I have a special. So my mom lives in Japan, and she's gonna be coming to and I was so excited for her that it released her, but no, she hasn't seen it yet. She'll be coming to the United States for like 2 months this coming Friday. We will be seeing it this weekend. We will be seeing it where we're gonna help get it to we're gonna help get it to that Billy. And that'll be my 3rd time. I've seen it twice, like I said, on my own, and I'm happy the 3rd we gonna bring the whole damn family. We go like come on.
I need because I've missed. There was big ones in London. There was the one on the 21st of May, the last IMAX showing where everyone showed out and it was a madness. Then they had another one on the 6th of June, which was also a madness, and I missed that one as well because I was doing whatever I was doing on that day. And then I think another one's, or there was another one. No, the 6th of June, they had another Trafalgar Square event and a dance party in Trafalgar Square, and I think people were seeing the movie on that day as well. So yeah, I do feel like the 13th, because I guess another bit of news, the 100% party that they've been running around the world, I can't even remember 100%, the French, I don't even know what they are, DJ party dance company. I should probably have researched that. Yeah, they've been running them all around the world. So they're back in London again on the 12th. Yeah, the 12th. So 2 days. 2 days. Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm so used to recording these on a Sunday that I forgot that it's Wednesday already today. So this is going out on day of recording. So yeah, in 2 days, if you ain't got your tickets, I just bought mine yesterday. The early tickets are gone. Yeah, but I think it's going to be another madness. The party should be live. So yeah, that's happening. So I do feel like another spike's going to be happening in June. It's kind of like the perfect time. And with the digital release as well, there's apparently a behind the scenes 57 minutes of behind the scenes. In fact, apparently it's on Amazon Prime. I'm going to check my Amazon right now. Real time. Wait. It's the Prime button. It's probably gonna open up on Spider-Man Noir because that's what I've been watching around.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm on episode 4 or 5. I just finished episode 4.
I'm on 2. But I'm enjoying it. I'm taking my time. I have to be concentrated. I'm really enjoying it. So
yeah. I'm watching it in black and white as well.
Ah, nice. My TVs, I guess I don't have that option. Yeah.
What? No, it should have that. It should have that on in the Prime thing. It goes, do you want to watch this in color or black and white?
Okay, I gotta break down the app because it's like, yeah, it hasn't given me that option, and I can't find it on the option menu with that. So I'm gonna try it with a different TV or something. But I was watching on my big TV, and I will say the color does look beautiful too. But I'm like Michael. Being a Michael fan got me into older movies and things like that. So it's like I love a noir. I love a good black and white
Yeah.
moody feeling. So yeah.
Right. On my thing, I'm seeing Rent Ultra HD, $15.99, extras included. So the extras.
Okay.
Oh wait, I don't actually want to rent it. I'm not spending £16.
Right.
Yeah. Show me the extras, bro. It just says extras included. Wait. Michael is cinematic. The film tells the story of Michael Jackson, tracing his extraordinary talent as the leader of Jackson 5 to become the biggest. Blah blah. Audio languages, how do I choose languages, starring, blah, blah, blah. All right, so it don't say. Racist. But it's apparently there. Also, I read a rumor, in the MJ groups. I didn't verify because I was busy, but I just saw it pop up on my notifications that apparently there's an hour of extra footage that's going to be coming
Ooh.
on the Blu-ray releases. Now, I don't know if someone's mixed that up and got that confused with the hour of behind the scenes footage or whatever.
I can see that because I looked on the Fandango. It's funny. I buy my online movies through either Amazon or Fandango. I could pull that up right now. They have. I can read out for you. The listed special features. I will say, my disappointment was that they don't have deleted scenes, but I will say actually, I talked this over with Hannah, where it's like at first I was fuming with that, but then it's like, wait, they're working on part 2 right now. They can use certain deleted scenes from this for that potentially.
Basically.
So it's like, hold on to the rage,
Yeah, that's why I was like, we ain't getting no behind the scenes stuff. I mean, we're not getting no
right?
deleted scenes because I feel like they're going to go in the second. Whatever they can use will go in the second film, and anything that they legally can't use won't go on the DVD. So I was like,
Agreed.
we ain't getting nothing. That's what my
Right.
thought was. So I guess we'll
Right.
see when it does come out, or if people buy this stuff. I'm sure by the time we do the next pod, it will be confirmed or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So real
real
quick, do you want the titles of like what it said that the special features are?
Yeah, go on.
So Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. A look at the making of
That's what it's called.
Michael. Now the one I'm interested in, Home is Where the Heart Is, behind the scenes of, or behind the gates of Havenhurst. I'm interested in that because that's something we're going to get into it, but it's so big to me that this movie actually used the Havenhurst house, the interior of the Havenhurst house, because that could not be done during American Dream. But so it's like, I'm actually very curious about that. They have time lapses for Jafar and Coleman Domingo for their makeup looks and everything. Yep. A first look special thing, a Becoming Michael special thing. Before the big screen special thing, the magic and the motion of Michael Jackson, and on the set of Michael. So lot of I'm excited for all. I love. That's why I still buy physical media. I love special features. I love commentaries and stuff too. Yeah. So it's like the DVD, the Blu-ray, they better be worth it, and they better be worth it because they can get me to pay for a lot if they just load that thing up, load it up.
Yeah, that's the problem as well, is that they don't do behind the scenes features as much on Blu-ray releases now. It's like,
yeah,
maybe the production company might put some featurettes on YouTube or whatever, or some behind the scenes or some special effects reels or stuff like that. You don't get the real, like, this is a whole extra DVD worth of content of this is how it, like, what? Some films had crazy, like the prequel Star Wars films had loads of discs for the behind the scenes. I used to love watching those, even though I didn't like the films that much. But the behind the scenes, no. Lord of the Rings, the same thing. There was like 12 discs it was never ending. I was like, bloody hell, so much behind the
Right.
scenes.
I feel you on, like I said, it's my love of the ownership of the physical media of movies, where it's like the making of, the talking about, the retrospective, the commentary. There's value in the commentaries with the cast or the directors of the breakdowns of, oh, I remember this day. This was a hard day. Oh my God, it took so long to get this scene out. Oh, that's one take. I love that stuff. I love that information. And yeah, like you said, that companies are putting a lot less value in that now. So, Michael might be a big opportunity. I've told people that, to me, is the funniest conundrum of the anti-Michael movement that we see from the critics and we see from, certain big names, where it's like, this movie is quietly doing what was it called? Barbenheimer type thing, where it's like, this is good for the theatrical industry. This is good for that, and you all are seemingly wanting to sink this movie, which would not help the industry. Like, why don't you want your industry helped? And so that said, loading up the Michael movie, Blu-ray, DVD, every way you can do it, physical, can help that medium. Can be the highest grossing Blu-ray ever.
Yeah,
Why don't we want to help the mediums?
It will do something like that, because me and Jin were talking about it last week. Check it out, last week's episode if you haven't seen last week's, 2 weeks ago, whatever the last episode was. We were just talking about kind of people were saying that the cinema is basically dead now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only certain even the Marvel films ain't bringing everyone to the cinema anymore like how they used to. Like, what is it that's going to get people in the cinemas? Even now, I just went to see the screening of Disclosure yesterday, and then after I was reading kind of people's reactions online, it's like some people are like, where's the big reaction for a Steven Spielberg Hollywood blockbuster? Some people are calling it best film ever. Some people are just like, well, it's all right or whatever. But that buzz of, let's get in the cinema and watch a Steven Spielberg movie, it hasn't got that, even though Michael's done that, basically. So, take note, studios. Take note.
Right. We want you to do well. We're rooting for you.
We believe. Yeah. The Moontalkers store is now open. Head over and grab your new MJ merch to help support the channel. But speaking of Michael movies,
yes,
the main cake of the day, the main meal of the day, I should say. Yeah, I don't know why you're eating a cake as your main meal. Don't be a disgrace in the cheats. Yeah, I mean, even though I don't blame you if it's a birthday cake. Yeah. Right, the Jacksons, An American Dream. Right, now a classic for some people. Like, I feel over in the States even more so, because I don't know if it was more of like an event kind of thing, especially in the culture, people getting. Of course, I've seen Jackson's American Dream. Everyone knows Angela Bassett is Catherine Jackson. What are we talking about here? Yeah. Like, for me, I just remember it just always being on anytime there was a Michael Jackson day on VH1 or MTV or something like that. It is playing. You would get an hour a day. Watch it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it's finished on Friday or whatever. Like, I had it on videotape. I watched it religiously. I remember that. I think even on the TV, the TV version, there was like an extended version. There was like an extra 20 minutes or something like that. Or that's the version I've got now that I watch now. But I don't know exactly what bit that is. I can't remember, but I don't care. Anything more, I'm watching it. Yeah. What's your experience with the American Dream?
Man, it's funny. So yeah, it was a big. I know that from like knowing people, because I was born, but I was like 2 or 3, so I was like, I don't quite remember it airing, but like how I remember it is that, oh my God, so I grew up without cable, so I had to go over people's houses to watch my VH1, my MTV, my Cartoon Networks, my Nickelodeons, all that stuff. And I'm a Michael Jackson kid. I discovered Michael and everything when I was like 5 or 6, and was really taken by like the story, but there was still like so much I didn't know. And then you just turn on TV and you see these kids as the Jacksons. And what? And so the funny thing with me in that movie is, for years, I would say multiple years, because of not having cable, but on weekends I would end up places with it, I had only seen pieces. This weekend I'm seeing, this weekend I'm seeing enough to see the Never Can Say Goodbye performance. This weekend I'm seeing enough to see a whole big chunk of the Indiana chapters where they're trying to get to Motown. This weekend I see the ending at the Victory Tour. Next weekend I see, but until I was 13 and I spent $30. I was proud of that. That was birthday money. I spent $30 to get the 2-disc. I think that might be one of the first things I've ever owned that was 2-disc, actually, talking about physical media. I got the 2-disc DVD, and I it might be one of my first personal DVDs, actually, too. But I got the DVD of the entire miniseries. That's how I first saw it from start to finish. But it was always on. It was always on, and everybody always knew the lines. We could all do the lines. Like I could just say, I could just say one little thing, and a friend would pick it up so easily. Just between Joe, Catherine, the kid, everybody. I'm so tied to my child. That movie is how. That miniseries is tied to my childhood. So yeah.
I had the same thing. Like even down to I learned all the choreography that they done in the film, and then 90% of it is made up for the film. with the exception of Motown 25, nearly all of it, and the end of the Victory Tour performance where they do the right thing for The Love You Save.
Yes.
None of it is the choreo from the Dancing Machine's not the one they do.
Nope.
Never Can Say Goodbye is not what they do.
Nope.
You know,
Ever.
none of that. None of the choreo. Like all that Victory Tour, The Love You Save, even though that routine looks thick where they do the little when we
yes
head, yeah, all that.
That was fire. Yeah.
Do you know, I this is the one thing I'll definitely give that film, is everything that was original choreography kept the essence of Michael and the Jacksons. Like everything that Willie Draper does in that little Victory Tour bit, Michael never does that in that thing. But if you showed me a performance of Michael, I could believe. If you said Michael done that in the thing, I'll believe it. He had the essence of it. Like I love that.
It's the way he spazzes out, like you way ahead of your time. Yes. That's the energy. That's the energy.
Yeah.
That's the energy. He was on it.
I always thought as well. Well, not always thought, but especially more in recent time, that for him to be able to study, obviously they worked with the Jacksons and he would have been able to get certain things, but I feel like his resources would have been way more restricted than what Jafar had. Do you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have
definitely
choreographers that would work with him on that level as the ones that had worked with Jafar. Do you know what I'm saying? That had worked with Michael at that time. You know, the resources of footage and stuff like that. My cat's going crazy. The resources of the footage and stuff like that to be able to study. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like this guy must have got some Ninja Victory Tour tapes, fam. What we talking about?
Right. And too, you got what I'm amazed by with that in this current context is that's so cool that was done when it was done, because they got to do it while it was not necessarily yesterday, but before the Victory Tour turned 10 years old, before certain aspects, they got to do that when Thriller was like 10 years old, where it just wasn't that far away. That's a really cool perspective right there. That's a really cool little window that they had, that honestly, no matter how great the sequel will be, that no movie will quite benefit from except for that miniseries, because it's like people were here that are not here now. You know, so it's special.
Yeah, I think I was discussing that as well last week, because me and Jin were basically talking about when you do a documentary, the further away you get away from the time that it happened, like the more it becomes a memory. And the less you like consistently go over it, you're forgetting things or things are slightly changing and how you, do you know what I'm saying? So the closer you are, you get a little bit more of that accuracy or that organicness of what it was at the time because you're closer to it. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
Right, let's go through the film. Yeah. We're gonna just touch on some parts and whatever, and other bits, you know, because they're a bit more iconic. We'll actually discuss them a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the film starts with the opening montage of kind of just like, oh look, it's the Jacksons. Oh, it's an American dream. Oh, then we go, to Chicago, 1945. Catherine attends a dance with her friends. Joe's there. Musa like, hey, I'm Joe Jackson. That's basically what he does. He goes, hey, I'm Joe Jackson. Yeah.
Yep.
And they have their first little flirt or whatever. And then he basically is like, oh, how come you got that thing with your legs? She was like, hey, I got polio and that, innit? What? He's like, don't care. Think you're kind of hot still. Don't care about polio.
Right. Don't kill the mood.
Yeah. And then so that's basically like their first interaction. Then we get a scene of Catherine basically discussing what it is she wants to do. They're like, oh, maybe you could become a nurse. And then she was talking about, you know, being a singer and stuff like that, but that's only Hollywood fake dreams, you know, it's not a real thing. And then she finds out that Joe's got married. What? Plot twist already. I'll say that is a plot twist for people because people think that Joe and Catherine just been together forever, and that's what it was or whatever. I don't actually know any information about wife number one, Miss Jackson the First. What do you know anything?
That her name had never even came out, you know, and I meant to ask, we before getting into this, we haven't talked about, have you read the source material, Catherine's book, My Family the Jackson?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
And see, I did back
I haven't read it.
Yeah, and see, oh man, okay, see now I'm tempted to like wait, do I have it with me? I have one copy in storage, but then I rebought it recently, but I don't know where that one is right now. But I tell certain friends where it's like, okay, I'm tempted to like take pictures of every page to send to you and like a 500 page. I don't think it's 500 pages or anything, but you know what I mean. But where was I going to? Oh, yeah, well, that was the most important thing. If you had read the book, yeah, her name, the first wife's name, has never been released. But it is important. I wanted to bring the book up too, just to note that everything that was brought up. And see, when I got the book, is when I got the DVD for this miniseries. Those kind of detailed everything that Joe and Catherine talk about in their first meeting, in their first dance of that first meeting. It's all in there. But it was, see, that's the purpose of movie magic / and plays / TV shows. They got the life story done in the first meeting conversation. You got polio.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad lives in California. My mom lives here. I grew up with my dad. I'm moving here with my mom.
It's getting all the exposition.
Yep,
yeah.
That's right. Giving you all the who we are, where we're from, what we're doing here. So yeah.
Do you know? I think saying that, I think that is something that American Dream, even though granted it has 5 hours to do it in, but it does that way better than Michael does. Just giving a throwaway line to say, hey, this is happening. Like later on, I'll discuss in some other bits or whatever, but there's some throwaway lines that you just go, oh, you didn't have to say that, but it's giving me that little bit of information. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely. And one thing I'll add on to that, it semi jumps ahead, but it's just an overview. A question that's always existed about that family is, why didn't Catherine leave? How could she stay in that marriage so long? That first scene is about both of their parents and the messy situation, the sad situation they both come from on the topics of marriage and their views on marriage before they even got on their first dance. Really, it gives you in that first scene why Catherine never divorced Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
You know?
And on top of that, in these first few scenes, we get to see a different Joe Jackson. In Michael, one-dimensional. He's just one.
Very.
That's what he is through the whole film. Yeah. In this film, we get what starts as a very charming, charismatic, hey, you can see how he got to where he got, because he's like, hey, I've got a little bit of that, zhuzh. I can sell, I can market, I can sell myself. Do you know what I'm saying? And then we get to see that gets broken down as it goes on. Joe returns basically. He's like, yeah, I got divorced. Let's hook up. No, whatever. Long story short, they basically start doing the thing, and then Catherine gets pregnant. So her initial reaction when the doctor says, do you want me to speak to the young man or whatever? And she's like, nah, I don't really want to tell him, because, he's got dreams of going to California and being a boxer and being a musician and all that stuff or whatever. Then he basically knows anyway. He basically finds out anyway. And then he's like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm sticking around for my kid, whatever it is. We're still going to do it. We're still going to live the dream or whatever. But then as we get the time skip going into the future, now there's a few kids and stuff like that. We see Joe working at the steel mill, but now he's a different man. Now that he's got, I don't know how many kids they've got at that point, maybe like 5. I think they're up to Jermaine.
They're up to Michael. They're up to this is right where Marlon's the baby, because they're heating the house and all that. Marlon's the baby, and you're not pregnant again. I should be on birth control. I don't believe it. That's Michael. That's Michael there. But so they're on number 7. They're on number 7.
Yeah, I was trying to think if you. Yeah, okay. Oh, what, did she have a baby in that scene already?
Yep, she was feeding. Yeah, she was feeding Marlon. She was feeding Marlon.
She was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? A little detail.
And Jackie and Reby were all dancing, and Latoya.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a little detail too, because the movie has to do this too. Is you have to have a little expedition of who's who of all these damn kids. So in that. The heat is out. We have to cuddle for warmth. So Jermaine and Jackie, Tito, come on, and Latoya, sit next to Reby. And you have to say all these names. You have to let the world know. Oh, that's right, Marlon. You have to let everybody know these names, because otherwise, which kid is which? Damn, And honestly, I kind of found myself doing that throughout the movie. A little bit later, it's only the second after seeing it twice. I know who Jermaine is and maybe Marlon. And when Tito wears the Tito's hat, I know him. But everyone...
Yeah, see, I had that thing too, but only because they keep changing shades of their skin color. So it's hard to keep track. Yep. I mean, what do you mean you're light skin, now you're dark skin?
Right.
What's going on here?
That's true.
And even the one, when it does like a year time skip, but then it changes from young Jackie into older Jackie, but everyone else stayed the same. So only Terrence Howard swapped in, and everyone else is still the same. And I was like, was that significant enough time skip too? Maybe, okay, because Jackie's older, but
I realized something in this watch. I wonder if you agree with me with Bumper Robinson, who plays first Jackie. He could have stayed Jackie longer. He was a damn good Jackie. And I forgot if we ever talked. I'm an actor and writer and all that, so I look at the details. I love just this little moment when he was walking with Marlon and Michael before Boyz II Men tried to jump him and everything. But it's, you mind me, Marlon. He really wore that older brother thing in a way Terrence didn't, And granted, the kid. There was a difference when Terrence stepped in for Jackie. And the difference was Terrence didn't feel like Jackie. Terrence didn't feel like the what how did he sing it? How the oldest Jackson. He didn't wear that biggest brother thing with
Yeah.
that. Bumper Robinson did. Bumper Robinson did. Shout out to Bumper Robinson.
Yeah, I think Terrence shouldn't have come in until the dancing machine time skip.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. But yeah, even then, that line that you just said, yeah, when he said "Mind me, Marlon," yeah, I was always like, well, why is he saying? It's what happened right before that. Always felt like there was something missing.
Right.
Like,
In my own mind, it was a thing of like he called him, but he didn't come or something like that. In my own mind, that was that. Like my
I was
own
thinking
mind
like
making the
he
story.
done something. Like I'm like, what did you do? And then he says, "You as well,
Right.
Michael." So I'm like, what was you doing right before that?
Right.
And you know what? They probably did shot it and maybe cut it for tight. Like the thing's 5 hours long. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, right.
Where was we? Oh yeah. So now they've started having the kids. So then we time jump again. Michael's born. And then Catherine's mum jokes about we're going to run out of names for the kids. And then she mentions what about Donald? What about Ronald? Or whatever.
And those were real. Those were real. I remember that. Yeah, those are real. And everything about that dialogue, I remember reading in the book. And it's like, oh shit, the movie. Oh, excuse me. Whereas like the movie got that, the miniseries got that right. Every word. So
yeah. We see Joe in the steel mill again, but he gets fired, laid off again. And in real life or whatever, like he basically talks about in this time he had to basically work 2 jobs to be able to keep things going. So like all that bit where it shows them like going and stealing the old potatoes, and that I'm like, how many of these dodgy little side things was man? Like he must have been doing the mad hustles because with that many kids, no. I don't know how like when Catherine was cussing him for like, where did you get all the money for this equipment and whatever? Like Jackie's shoes are worn in, like man's feet are kissing the floor, and you're going and like, boy. See, this is some of the things where, as much as you want to get onto Joe, yeah, for the abusive stuff and stuff like that, it wasn't just I beat them until they was good. He was grinding that whole time until they got to a certain point. Like we're talking about 10 years. For 10 years, this man was working 2 jobs and having to look after the kids as well as whatever he was doing, doing all this side stuff. Then on top of that, he was still trying to, have his group do their thing, trying to make money from doing that. That's a lot of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially back in that time. Like now, everyone, they love to put on their little entrepreneur hats and say, I do this, I'm a content creator, I'm doing whatever, I've got 12 businesses, I do nails and I do hair and I do whatever. Yeah. It's a different time back then. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
A different time back
grinding was a completely different thing because, again, I forgot if I mentioned, this was my first time watching the movie, watching the whole thing from start to finish. I want to say since he passed, and he passed since Michael passed when I was 19. But having the context I do in my 30s, and like I can really appreciate the scenes where the potatoes and the going to the farmer for the food, and it's like just the thing of like feeding all those kids, feeding all those children, like, oh my God, that was a lot. That was a lot of when the first scene of them at the table is jumps ahead a little bit, but the first scene of them at the table and Catherine's like giving everyone a piece of meat and saying what they have, and it's like you really get the idea that they had to stretch everything. And so bringing it to the scene you just talked about, where she mentioned like, I don't understand you, Joe Jackson. Jackie's shoes have holes that he could walk clear on the floor. And Simba's all up. And we're going to go into that. Why don't we just out in the second room? Reby and LaToya slept in the living room the entire time they lived in that too. They never had their own room in that house. So it's like, yeah, they were going through it. And I felt for both of them. I felt for this. The miniseries does a great job of showing, like you said perfectly, the man Joe was before marriage and children. That he was optimistic. He was a dreamer. He had these big ideas, and so he also got beaten down himself, pun intended in a way, but by life and by these jobs he had to sustain to keep his family fed, to keep food on the table.
Yeah. And even on top of that, in that moment, he's basically saying he believes in these boys. He's like, I'm doing all this money because this is going to pay off. I know that they're going to make it, basically.
Yep.
Like, we're doing this shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So even just before that as well, we get the iconic scene of Tito playing the guitar, which just before that we had the scene. She was like, Catherine was like, don't be breaking those strings now, because you know your dad's gonna be pissed if you do. Oh no, I ain't gonna break those strings. I ain't gonna break those strings. And then lo and behold, I'm breaking the string. And then we get the bit. This is the one that people remember, yeah, because we get the licks in Michael, yeah, but we get the one set of licks, and I think it's because it's actually shown. That's what the shock that people had. But in this one, because this one it happens twice, you get the one where it's not shown with Tito, yeah, but you're getting everyone else's reactions, and they're all bawling, and all you can hear is Tito bawling, crying for his life, fam. It sounds real. And then when he tells them to play and sing before that, yeah, right before that, when Tito's sitting there, he's doing the leg thing. And you know this, yeah? If you got licks when you was little, yeah, where your leg just keeps shaking because you're doing the...
Right.
And the leg just keeps doing it. Yeah, and the pain's still in there, yeah? And you're just... The leg is the only way you can get it out, by bouncing that leg. Yeah, he's doing that leg bounce. And I thought, oh, God, this guy's killing it. God, what? Yep. Little Tito, you're doing the thing. Yeah.
Agreed.
So that happens, and then obviously they perform for Joseph, and he's like, "Oh yeah, do you know what? Yeah, these boys, that's good and that." Then obviously we get Michael eventually performing "Climb Every Mountain" at school, where Joseph goes, "Oh, okay, Michael can do the thing. Let's throw him in. You're in, Mike. You're in. Mm-hmm. Yeah."
Yep. The Jackson 4 become the Jackson 5, as Catherine said.
That's Catherine says that, yeah. Catherine always backing the ting. Yeah, always backing the ting. Then all right, so I skipped over like some whatever Joe stuff, the Falcons and all that stuff. Oh wait, no, there was one other bit that I skipped on as well, which was the family dinner, which you touched on earlier. Yeah, where this is another thing that I think this film does really good, is showing the actual family dynamic. Like, even though they kind of wrap it up at the end, like, oh, we're happy family and all that stuff, we see the little bits of bickering. Everyone's making noise. Everyone's doing their own little things. We're seeing name calling. We're seeing all this stuff or whatever, until it gets to the moment where Joe switches and the shoe. He's like, "Whose shoe is that?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whose shoe is that? Who is it? Is it Jermaine that goes, It's not mine. I swear. Was it Tito?
that was Jermaine. That was Jermaine. He said, "I swear to God, Jesus, everyone." That's so real. That's so real. I've done that too.
I swear. And then obviously it ends up being Michael's, but Michael's not playing about. He's like, nah, less of this, fam. He dashes the shoe at Joseph, and then he run. And this is like a popular story. Michael's told it. Other people have told it. He dashes the shoe at Joseph, then he runs away and hides under the bed. And I know, because I've done this one, the hide under the bed. And sometimes it didn't work, because sometimes I'd try, like my parents' bed back in the day, it was like in the middle of the room. So there was no wall that you could go to the thing because they would just go to the other side and pull you out from that side.
Ah.
There was no hiding. And then one time, because I hid in that room, I remember it. I was hiding under the bed, and my dad walked in the room, and I could see, like, I see his desert boots, and then I just saw the belt just like swinging from the, just going past like that, and I was doing that, holding my breath. And then he walked back out, and then I was like, I'm in his room. So I'm trapped. Like, basically, I can't even remember how I got out of it. I waited there.
You're behind enemy lines.
Behind enemy lines. I waited there for like 2 hours. Yeah. And then eventually I escaped somehow, some way. I don't know. But I remember that bit. Yeah.
I always got caught. I always got. Well, to be fair, too, my siblings also. No one kept me hidden. I'll never forget. It was over my great grandmother's house. Shout out to my great grandmother. She'll actually be 106 on Sunday, but it was my favorite aunt, my grandmother's sister, my favorite aunt, and she was like the nicest lady. She's no longer with us, but I got in trouble for something to where my mom was looking for me for hitting time, and I hid good. My aunt found me, and I this is my girl. My aunt, no, we tight and everything. To hear that beautiful woman say, "Oh, he's in the closet. He's in the closet behind my clothes."
God damn it!
I can't trust nobody. the feeling. I'm like, if you love me, you won't say a word. And it's instantly, oh, he's in here. The betrayal is real. Right. Now, did you know, because what's funny is I actually predicted wrongly that the Michael movie would not showcase Joseph hitting Michael, because that was something that Michael had as a boundary for the miniseries. What he said for what he will allow, what he won't. He said there cannot be a scene of Joseph hitting him. It's got to only be him getting away. And yeah, and it's funny, Michael being Michael, I get it, and it's like, what's funny is, subject in general isn't funny, but when he talked about getting hit, you could see and feel the brokenness so much and everything. And for Michael to be who he is, I think I absolutely understand his thing of like, there's a power in, you don't need to see that. Your mind can do the work. So, I feel like the movie where they would have it suggested, where they had Michael opening the closet to get the belt later, that he would have approved of, not the actually getting hit part.
Yeah, I think because Joe puts hands on everyone in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Tito gets it. Reby gets it.
Yep.
Marlon gets it.
Yep. Marlon got it with the switch. That was real old school.
That was the one when we get there.
Yep.
Right, so let's fly through a couple more of these.
Yes.
I'm just going to briefly, Michael befriends Mr. Mouse. There you go. Then we get Tito playing the guitar, then which we've just spoke about. Just Joe discovers the brother's talent. Michael performs at the school. Joe purchases all the equipment, which we just discussed. And then we get the rehearsals becoming relentless. So this is where we see Marlon, the danciest Jackson. Yeah, the best dancer.
That's right.
Yeah, the best dancer apparently. I always went, how are you falling on this move? How are you falling? It was because they directed him to just drop, like, after he finished the spin. He couldn't trip up or whatever. I was like, how are you dropping on that move? Let's make it. They said, "Hey, make it more dramatic." Yeah. But this is where Joe's like, "Boy, go get the switch." And the thing is, he says it so casually. Yeah. He says it so casually. Yeah, like, just like, bro. if you don't be a man and go and get this switch, just hurry up and get the switch and come back. Yeah, let's do the thing, fam. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And that's the thing. That's the worst one. Yeah. When you have to go outside and pick your own thing, yeah, you got like, I can't pick one that's bad enough that they're going to send me back out to get an even worse one. Yeah. But I've got to pick one that's not going to fuck me up at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? Not that it mattered. And in that one, that's when they showed the licks. Yeah. And then all the rest of the brothers are sitting there crying. Like before that, they was like, Marlon, he's stepping on my toes, man. Oh, you're figuring out to. It was grasping him up. And then when he started
messing
getting licks,
everything
like,
up.
No,
He wasn't that bad. I was Marlon, I would have felt like I did in the club. Shut up, all of you. You did this to me.
Now, Joe, Joe was probably going like, I'm going to teach them a double lesson. 1, get the moves right. 2, stick together. Don't be throwing your brother under the bus. Yeah, otherwise this is what's going to happen to him. Yeah? God, I hope you've all learned a lesson from these beatings that he has received. Yeah. So they do that, but this is where we get the differences between the Michael movie and the American Dream. They then go to their show and they perform their talent show, which those girls that were doing the Supremes, I don't know if this was intentional, yeah. My dancer, I just caught it, yeah. That obviously when you do a trio, sometimes you do things where you all do things in unison and do it the same way, and sometimes you got the right and the left do it 2 different ways, and the middle girl does it different. So the girl on the far right, yeah, she was doing like the opposite, but I thought, oh, because you're on the right, you're doing it that way, and the one on the left's doing it facing inwards, but then I clocked the middle girl's doing it that way as well. And then she changed it. I went, oh, you made a mistake. And then right after that, Joe's like, God damn, they're so good. And I was like, she just made a mistake. She's not good. Joe Jackson, you should have saw that. If she was in your group, you would have beat the crap out of her. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
I don't know if that was an accidental one or direction because it's a school talent show and don't look as elite as you're meant to. So I don't know if that's that or whatever. However, they win the talent show, and right after, Joseph gives Marlon the trophy, puts the little hat on his head, and he's like, I knew you could do it. See, you could do it, fam. And he gives him that little bit of praise, which I don't remember one bit in the Michael movie at any point where Joseph gives them praise or that's what I say, in that film, he's so one-dimensional. In this, you get to see so much more of Joseph, how he started, how he's charming, how he's got broken down at work. You know, life is just killing him. And then his belief in his boys is what's giving him purpose to do what he's doing. But he's doing it the only way he knows how, which is the way he was brought up by, I got to give them licks, fam. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that's where we actually get something. We get this character development. We're seeing he was not just a bad dad all the time. Because this is the thing: is 2 things can be true. Like, I feel like in some senses, you can't say he wasn't a bad father because of the ways in certain stances where he's trying to take advantage of certain situations and stuff like that, especially later down the line. But then you can't deny the work that he put in to get there. And this isn't talking about the beatings and the rehearsal. This is just being a dad at first, keeping the family alive. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
2 things can be true.
I agree. I agree completely. And that this movie gave the full character and the full context in I keep saying this mini series because it's much longer than the movie. This mini series gives Joseph room to be human, a flawed human like he was. In the movie, it's all much more implied. Coleman is acting a lot with like all of Coleman's softest Joseph moments in the movies are silent moments, are done with his facial performances versus this one, there's words. This one, it feels real in that way.
Yeah. So we get that they go back home, and then Mr. Mouse is killed. And Joseph's just like, finally, yeah, got that bloody mouse or whatever. Now, this is one of those things that we don't know if this has just happened for the film. They've put it in there or whatever. Because everyone says the stories of Michael having pet mice when he was younger and stuff like that. So whether this literally happened right after the talent show, I think they've just done that for the film because it works in the context. Plus, I feel like, I feel like everyone always likes, because he done the song Ben and it was about the film with they like to put emphasis on that, especially since he had a #1 song about a rat or whatever, and he has pet rats. So people like to think, like when I was 5, I thought Michael wrote a song about his pet rat called Ben. That's what I thought it was. I thought when he was 10 years old, he wrote the song. Yeah, I didn't know nothing. Yeah, that was the story that had been created by me watching this, and I've just built in my mind or whatever. Then we get the Jacksons finishing second in the competition. I want to color TV.
Right. And we know that story. Marlon still tells that one today. And I love that Marlon still does, because Marlon was about to get his TV.
Yeah. All right, but Marlon is always funny. All the Marlons have little funny throwaway lines throughout the film, and I always just feel that's kind of like how Marlon. That's another thing that they do in the film, is they kind of show the fun, pranky side of the brothers when they're younger.
Yes,
we don't get in the Michael movie. I don't think
we don't
at all. Like, yeah. So yeah, they've gone.
Well, I just a takeaway I got. I'm happy that they showed them coming in second, because of course with the Michael movie, it falls into I call it the Wikipediafication of movies, where they don't often show the struggle so much. They show like Michael
successes.
Rehearsing after James Brown specifically, not Jackie Wilson and David Ruffin and the others, but just James Brown to get better. But they don't show the Jackson 5. I love learning. I've heard many instances and met people where it's like they weren't perfect off the ground, even with the beatings, even with the rigorous training. I've met a few people with my job where I work at a museum that was associated with a company that the Jacksons were with. But I've met people who were witnesses to the pre-Motown Jackson 5 on the circuit. And the most common stories I've gotten are that they competed for amateur nights with the Emotion Sisters, known for the Best of My Love, one of my favorite songs in Boogie Wonderland. The 5 Stair Steps, known for Ooh Child, Things Are Gonna Get Easier. I want to say the OJs and like a few other groups who came up in the ranks later, but the person's thing was the Jackson 5 were a part of it, but I've seen them lose. And I've seen them justifiably lose to the Emotion or the 5 Stairs. Like they had competition, and that's what Joseph was saying in the movie, well, in the miniseries I should say, not the movie, but he was like, it's hey, we got to be better than these other kids out here. And that, hey, if you're not first, you're last. He raised them with that, and that's why they had to take their training so serious that in the fear of the belt. But they have to really work to be as good as they became, to be the best, to beat the others.
And I feel as well that in that showing them winning that first the talent show and then showing them lose, I think in terms of Michael's mentality, where he's going, I've got to win. I have to be the best. I have to be #1. This is where it's showing that this is being instilled in him, because then you get that when he off the wall only got like 1 nomination or whatever, and then he went, boy, with Thriller, I'm coming back. Nominate me for everything. Then we get Bad. He goes to the Grammys. Heartbreak. I didn't get nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Then he says, "Fuck this. I'm boycotting the Grammys." Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but he throughout his career, that was always the thing. I have to be #1. The Jacksons, we don't do second place. There is no second place. If you're second, you lost. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I don't know if it was this film that kind of instilled that in me, because dance competitions and stuff like that, you lot can't see it, but over there I've got like bare dance trophies. There's seconds, there's thirds, there's firsts, whatever, varying degrees. In fact, there's one that burns me to my soul, which is from the International Street Dance Championships, I think it was, and in the European whatever event, continental rounds or whatever, I think we came 7th or something. My group came 7th. Now, they gave us a trophy for that. I was like, why are we getting a trophy for being 7th? Yeah, I was like, top 3, I hear it. Yeah, bronze, silver, gold. Yeah, I can hear it. Anything below that, you shouldn't be getting anything. Yeah, and then
Agreed.
yeah, so we got that for 7, but I wanted to dash the trophy. I wanted to throw it, but then I kept it as this reminder of don't be 7th, never again. But another thing that people always said to me is like, yeah, you came 7th, but do you know how many people competed in this? Like, you had to do local, then national, then continental things, and now thousands of people, you came in the top 7, and then I'll go, oh yeah, when you put it like that, yeah, but we still didn't win.
Yeah.
I want to be the best.
Right. It's a double-edged sword. It'll forever for you be a double-edged sword in that way, because it's one of the, both things can be true. Both things can be true. There is you're 7th out of however 1,000 like all these others, but it's still for you, if for you knowing what you can do and what you could have done, this and that, we still weren't top 3. So I feel you, my brother, and you are a fantastic dancer too, I must say.
Oh, thank you. I try in my old age. Yeah, in my old age. So yeah, I just feel like that competitive thing, you get to see where it comes from, and I don't feel like we got that in Michael, other than Joe just saying we're gonna be the best. Like, you in this, you get the little things of Donny Osmond does this.
Mm-hmm.
Michael's better than Donny Osmond. What are you talking about? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we get.
He's not even competing.
You know what I'm saying? So then we get like the pickup of stuff. We get little bits of basically not just Michael, but the other brothers as well being affected by their rehearsals. Like, Jackie can't play sports and so on and so forth. Their relationships with girls and whatever is like, yeah, you know, I want to be out here getting peace and that, but man's got to rehearse and all that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then we jump into them in the performance circuit, doing their performances in the strip clubs and stuff like that. Which again, I feel it was kind of just touched on in the movie montage settings. Like, I think we got the visualization of the throwing change in the Michael movie.
Yeah.
As well, because I think Michael and Marlon always talk about picking up the change that was thrown to them after they would perform. And then when they get robbed outside in the alley, and then I was just like, again, this is again showing Joseph getting beaten down. This time, literally.
Literally,
But still, straight after that, he was like, "What? We're the Jacksons, fam. This is not stopping us. This is not stopping us. We'll borrow some drums. We'll get some new amps. It's minor. This it's not stopping us. Let's go forth." So, then we get them finally performing. What was it, the Apollo show?
Yeah, the Apollo. Yeah,
performing at the Apollo, and then so basically, because they do mention Bobby Taylor in this bit, which he doesn't get the mention. I don't think he gets a mention in the Michael movie at all.
He does not.
No, he doesn't. So I don't know if you want to break down how the Bobby Taylor actually discovered the Jackson 5.
Oh, sure. You know, I love. There's actually a great new video essay. I saw this channel. I've been subscribed to them for a minute, but I feel like they're kind of new at doing video essays, and they have one just about the making of Dad and Ross Presents the Jackson 5, and
We're gonna link it
I'm
in the description. I will link
yes.
it in the description.
Yes, that video made me explode with excitement over something. So I live in Detroit, and again, I work with the company that they were associated. Well, I work for the museum that's associated with that. They don't want to say their names on our media stuff, but anyway, Bobby Taylor, he saw the Jacksons at the Regal, not the Apollo. He saw them at the Regal. They won
Yeah,
amateur night at the Apollo, but he saw them at the Regal in Chicago. And
Chicago.
I love it's been broken down. I've heard this for years, but the new video essay, they had Bobby like telling it that he said, I'm gonna get you guys to Motown. He said, Michael or someone, don't lie to us. Like, Gladys Knight said the same thing. And she because so the movie makes it that actually yeah the movie they did their own thing with that where it was that Suzanne discovers them backstage
She's
because
just there.
Gladys does it. Yeah, exactly. Suzanne's just there. Yeah, no, not at all. The
Even
real
that.
story.
Just before we get onto the real story, in the Michael
Yeah.
movie, I feel like when Gladys Knight walked past and said that's where these little throwaway lines that American Dream does, she should have
Mhm.
been like, I put in a little call for you guys. Motown's here.
Yes.
And then walked off. And then
Yes.
Susan Dippas comes in and goes, I'm from Motown. Da, 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 da. That would have made it, you
Yep.
would have got the Gladys. In the Michael movie, it just seems like you've put Gladys Knight there as kind of like an Easter egg because
Yep.
she was involved in the discovery of the Jackson 5 as just like a little nod to go, hey, Gladys, we know you was involved. But you could have done more. Just give her a line that says,
Yep.
I called Motown. They're here.
Yep. And the real story, like so yeah, Gladys did, try to get Motown's attention with that, but Gladys honestly didn't have that much pull at Motown. She was new there when she met them. It's similar with Bobby, but this is the cool thing I didn't know until this new most recent video essay. The story was always Bobby Taylor said, I got the family to Detroit, Joseph and the boys, and they all slept in my 1-bedroom apartment. I had no idea until this video essay, and they have a clip of Suzanne, an audio clip of Suzanne DePass telling the story, and it's a building in Detroit called the 1300 Tower. My step grandmother lives there right now with one of my favorite cousins, Malachi, who's a huge Michael fan too. Shout out to Malachi, he'll be watching. That 1300 Tower, Diana Ross had an apartment. Barry Gordy, Suzanne in the audio clip said lots of Motown staff, artists and singers. Martha Reeves lives there right now today. And Suzanne says that's where Bobby Taylor's apartment was. That's where his 1-bedroom apartment was. And this is the cool part on that too. Suzanne lived there too. And so it wasn't when the story's told, I've heard Suzanne say, I went to Bobby Taylor's apartment. It always sounds like she's going across town. No, she took the elevator to his floor in the same from her apartment in the same building and saw these kids. She said that they did about 4 songs a cappella in his living room in the 1300 Tower. And she said she went back to her apartment and called Barry Gordy, and like she didn't have a lot of pull. This video essay also gave the context of she was new to Motown. And so she didn't have like a ton of pull, a ton of trust, but she did work directly with Barry. And he was not very enthusiastic about seeing more kids. The movie doesn't go into that. The miniseries does, of why Barry didn't want kids with Motown, but he allowed it. And we can go from there.
Yeah, he allowed it eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get that. And then basically Joe calls up Catherine and is like, yeah, we got a thing with Motown. Tell the girls, everyone start screaming on the phone. Be happy for us. So then they go they go to Motown. Oh yeah, I skipped over something else or whatever, but whatever time. Yeah, so they basically go in between that time or whatever, I'm just going to summarize all the stuff or whatever. We get a little bit of little bits of their religion, doing religious studies. We get the moment where Jackie comes back late from being out, and then Joe makes him move the bricks, and he says, he's like, he makes them move them to one place and then move them back to where they were, whatever. And he says, this is so that you remember where you're coming from and where you're going to, yeah, or where you're going to, but where you've come from, yeah. And I was like, oh, that sounds like one of them punishments like back in the day, like, yeah, oh, I remember them ones.
Yeah.
Like,
yep, it's for your own good. It's for your own good.
It's for your own good. It's for your own good. But you know what? Sometimes the little lines that are attached to those punishments, you remember them. You remember them.
Yep. Yep. I can agree. I can agree. I just want to tap on too, not to take up too much more time, but you mentioned the showcasing of the religion. I feel like that is the biggest omission of the movie. I feel like, and we talked about that. This is a callback to what we talked about in the last time I was on the show. I feel like it is not represented enough how religious Michael was, and that Catherine, Michael, Latoya, and Reby were the most devout. Yeah, they were the most devout Jehovah's Witnesses. They were the ones who were actually baptized in it. They were the ones who actually went canvassing, who went witnessing, as they called it. And I love that the miniseries made it full. They explained it. Later on, Tito explains to Dee, we don't celebrate birthdays. My parents are Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what the movie missed. The movie lacked that. The movie lacked just that. You know, it explains so much.
It didn't even need to get deep into it. It just says we don't celebrate Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, cool. And then we get little sprinkles here and there throughout, throughout the film or miniseries. And we didn't get, even though we know that they shot them, out handing out watchtowers and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, are we gonna get that in the next film? Are we gonna get it in deleted scenes that don't exist?
Right. I hope. Yeah. We'll see. Well, fingers crossed.
Then so we've done thing, we skipped, we're in Motown. Right.
Yes.
Right, so they've moved to Motown, and then now we get the bit where we're starting to see Catherine's getting a little bit concerned with how things are running. She wants to know what the boys are doing, where they are, and Joe's like, hey, it's business, don't worry about it. And he's just carrying on doing his thing or whatever. And it basically, and we did touch on this in our the last time Jarryl was on, when we spoke about Diana Ross, and basically the relationship that Michael had when they moved to California, and they were staying between Berry Gordy and Diana Ross, and so on and so forth. But in the film, it kind of goes, me, Jermaine, and Michael will head out first or whatever, and then the rest can follow, and then you lot will follow after that or whatever. So then that happens. Then they have their television debut, and then I thought this was funny because Catherine is going like, I can't remember who she said. She's like, "Oh, Jackie, oh, you're out of time. Quick, get back in time and da da da." I've watched that performance. I do not remember anyone being out of time at any point. Yeah,
same.
And in dramatics,
precision. Yep, come on. But I will say, that's also true to what they've all said, Joe and Catherine, how they were as stage parents, that they could catch every single slip that the audience couldn't, that they were all, that after every show they had notes. The you did good,
but
was always after, so here's what you messed up on. So, and so it's that thing of like we said, from what, I don't know how she could have seen what we saw that was like great. No, because it's like, even in that context, that's when they were at the same show from the side of the stage. From the TV edit, no, it looked perfect. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I hear, do you get that? even just as a dancer, when we go and we perform or whatever, and the group will finish their performance, and everyone will go, "Oh, that was amazing!" Da, da, da. But that's not what we're looking at. I'm taking about notes of everything that you've done wrong.
Yep.
I'm like, "Yep, you died
Yep.
on this, you died on that, you died on this, you died on that." How can you be at the front and be getting that wrong, whatever? And then that goes in, fix it for the next performance. That's what we're doing. So
Yep.
when your job as a performer, as a dancer, is that if you do make a mistake, you're wrong and strong. If you're out of the counts, you've got 2 counts max to get back in. Yeah, otherwise you died. Yeah,
Yep.
and I've seen that so many times in literally the Jacksons performing, Michael himself, when an error's happened, but you wouldn't have even noticed. I saw one error in Dangerous 1993 or whatever on the American Music Awards.
Yes.
That I've watched that so many times and I didn't notice it until last week. Yeah. When Michael does the side glide to after the chorus and he just take away my money too, or whatever, like he trips on his own foot on the side glide.
I've seen that.
Right at the end. And I never noticed it, but the way he recovers and just keeps going or whatever, you probably wouldn't even notice. You probably wouldn't even notice. I didn't notice, and I'm meticulous watching these things.
Right. I love that Jackson that Jackson fan perfection is there. Like I always loved hearing that Michael and Janet both, and especially from dancers who tour with both of them, and it's very few who have. I love their thing is like, no, when you're a dancer for Michael and Janet and you're in the hot of the eras in the 90s, what was common that you only got from the two of them is that both on tour and award show performances, after every show, there's no, okay, yeah, we did it, but let's watch the tapes. After every, I love Tina Landon said that it's funny for her that it's only this many years removed from dancing for Janet and even helping choreograph Scream and all that she can appreciate the award show performances, because she said, no, the night of, we had to watch it back and watch. Okay, so the camera cut right in time, but you see how you slipped there? You see what you're messing up on? Okay, and then Sean over there. I love that. I love the night of, not tomorrow. No, while it's fresh. You got to know it now.
Yeah, and even there was part of that watching, because, and it depended on if I was in the performance or if I was watching the performance, but my first viewing, I'm seeing whatever mistakes, but then my first rewatch, now I've already got the mistakes that I already know, and now I'm looking for more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I was like, I know there's stuff I missed. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I'm gonna get. And we'd all be sitting there around the phone. I'll be like, right, Jaden, you died there. No.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Jada, wrong. No. Yeah. Ebony, no, you died on that bit. Nah, for whatever. You know, and
absolutely,
it's just the performer life, innit?
Yep, the perfectionist, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. So they do their television debut, and then Joe calls out Diana Ross for calling them Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5.
Yeah,
and this is one of the things that a theme that is kind of consistent, not just throughout both films, but in real life, where Joe Jackson, it seemed like his biggest fear was people trying to separate the family.
Yeah.
Like, even when he speaks in interviews, he talks about, you know, when they were younger and stuff like that, it wasn't about them not having a childhood or whatever. I didn't need them playing with them kids from outside, because them kids were getting in trouble. They had each other and they could rely on each other in the yard. It's calm. Do you know what I'm saying? So you get, when she says that, it's like, oh, well, hold on, you're trying to separate him from the rest of the family. We're the Jacksons. We're not Michael and the Jacksons, or the Jackson 5. And then you see this has the same thing with Berry Gordy, has the same thing, and also in the Michael movie has the same thing with Berry Gordy, even though I wish it was explored more. Again, he says it with Quincy Jones. Again, he says it with the record companies, with the executives trying to separate the family. And then obviously in real life, he's always talking about them. They tried to keep me away. you know, even in later life, well after these films. So we're seeing things not just in real life, but also in the stuff that happens in real life kind of backs up what's happening in the films. And the films were made like quay before the big lockout of the 90s. do you know what I'm saying? And then, of course,
Absolutely.
we had the return. And you know what? Despite all of these lockouts and whatever, and his denials of abuse, he always backed Michael. He never said bad things about Michael, even though he would always, you know, he might throw in I'm making a record company or whatever, at an inappropriate time or whatever. Whenever it came about allegations or anyone saying anything bad about Michael, or he'd be like, they never talk about the good stuff. They never talk about what he does for charities. They never talk. So he always bigged him up, even when Michael wasn't talking to him. He never said, oh, well, he's not talking. And we've seen this with other Hollywood parents that after the kid shuts them out, that they start switching on them. Like, they're like, you know, this was my source of money and whatever. If they want to go out and be a brat or whatever, but he never done that. And then when the allegations came up again in 2004, he was there to back him. Do you know what I'm saying? And
Every single time.
Yeah, and even when it came to the end, and he was like, "Get my father." He wanted Joseph involved because he knew that he could help against all these vultures or whatever that were around. So in that later period when we're getting into This Is It and all the managers are changing, and it's suddenly everyone who's been cut off is now involved. You've got Frank Dilio back, we've got Branca back, we've got Joseph back, we've got what's going on? Craziness. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure we will find out in Hannah's This Is It Part 3, the dark side of This Is It. Yeah, when it drops eventually.
Eventually, yes. Yes. And that's the thing, for all of his flaws, one thing no one could ever say justifiably to me is that Joseph didn't, that it's not even, we won't even entertain that he didn't love the kids, but that his priorities was that family sticking together. He saw the value in that. And so many, like you said, so many other celebrity parents don't. So many other celebrity parents, they get taken by the payout. They get taken by, oh, well, you know, they are a little crazy. They are a little.
Look at the Carters. Look at the
yes. Oh my God.
Look at There's others. You know, you could list
Hayden Panettiere. Yeah. Oh my God. Macaulay Culkin's parents are awful. But Hayden Panettiere, I just saw she's coming out with a book, and in the book she talks about the fact that she and her mother don't speak anymore, and her mother came out with a statement with, yeah, she's crazy, I don't speak to her. It's like, oh wow, yeah. So Joe Jackson would never.
And when you look at it comparatively, as much as everyone wants to speak down on Joe because of how he raised them or whatever, cool, that's fair enough. But on the other side, like, no one's talking about all these other parents that are doing a madness. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
When it's Joe Jackson, it's a problem. And then this is what I always got kind of, I always felt conflicted with the newer movie, is that in the miniseries, they show Joe's a bit like, bro, they show him put hands on Reby. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And in the Michael movie, they kind of hint towards it when Catherine says, you're not going to put hands on anyone anymore. Kind of like, oh, what, is he beating Catherine as well? What's going, like, we don't really, it's kind of, they glaze over it. They just gloss over it a little bit. But in this, he drapes up Reby. He's like, hey, you, she gets it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yep. The same way we see Marlon get it. The same way we hear Tito get it. So they've shown that he'll get anyone. No one is safe in the family.
Right.
Yeah. And that was, I was like, this was more or less Jackson's produced. They're heavily involved in the making of this thing. And that is the image of Joe that they felt was the right one to portray. Now, since then, I feel like every time outside of Michael, and maybe Janet, I can't recall fully, but everyone talks about the beatings. They just go, yeah, it was just kind of the beatings, you know, everyone got them. Like, you know, sometimes, and even people, or not people, the brothers would say that Marlon got it the worst, or Jackie got it the worst because he was older and he could take the licks. Do you know what I'm saying? So then you go, are the family just trying to protect their family image and just say, yeah, you know, it was no different from the beatings everyone got. Like, that's what Joe said to say. Yeah. And
Well,
then
I think
go
it's
on.
that blurred line. I think it's that blurred line of like even what we shared, how we can relate to it too. I think that blurred line that they spoke to of like when you're a kid and when it's happening, it seems one way and it is one way. You know, I would never advise a parent should do that to their kid, but in the landscape of where they came from and what their friends and other family members were going through, and again where our friends and other family members were going through to an extent too, it does give it the context of that time of that was not, you know, right. It's like this experience isn't so singular, basically.
Mm.
That's why I think they were coming. I think that's what where they were coming at it from when they would defend it or justify it when they got older.
Yeah. But see, this is why I found it weird because in the Michael movie, it seems like it's not, because it's so one dimensional, it almost seems like he's just doing it because he likes it or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like there's a reason for it. Like after he gives
Yeah.
Michael the first beat, and I said this in other episodes of the pod, he goes to the sink and he leans over the sink, and I feel like we're about to have a moment where he's like, you know, I don't want to do this, but I've got to do this to get us out of here. Do you know what I'm saying? Nope, we didn't get that. It just went to the next scene. We got a montage of beatings and whatever.
Yep.
And then, so I thought, since all the family was involved in this film again, I was like, well, you guys were backing him all this time, but then now it's just like, yeah, go and just throw him under the bus, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I don't know if there's a difference because this Michael is more about the relationship between Michael and Joseph and him trying to break free of that, whereas the American Dream is more like Catherine and Joseph's story of how they've brought up and raised their family and the result of that. Basically, it's not a Michael story. It's not just the Jack. It's the whole family kind of thing.
Yes, very much more full picture in that way.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, because we're just on these beatings, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, when he's beating him, bro, it feels real, fam.
It feels so real. Oh my God.
Real. Like when he's beating Marlon, it feels real.
Yes.
Every time he grabs someone, like I feel like it feels real. When he drapes up Ruby and pushed her against the wall, I was like, fucking hell.
Yep.
Like,
man, the Marlon scene has always given me the worst flashbacks because the worst flashback of getting it and being in radius of a cousin or a friend getting it done, but the talking, wow, hit it and do it. I hate it. I hate that so much. When seeing that at my very grown age, I still have I hope I'm not next. I can't wait with it. It'll never leave me.
Yeah, that's the council. It's just there. It's just there. Right. Oh.
And you got to think too, Lawrence Hill and Jacob. I don't know if we mentioned it. He knew Joe. He knew Joe for some decades at that point because he used to date LaToya. I love that Lawrence Hill and Jacob's performance comes from experience, not movie studying experience. He knew Joe Jackson in the 70s because he was in that house trying to talk to LaToya, trying to have ice cream sundae with LaToya.
Yeah, I like, there's so many different connections in it. Do you know what? We're gonna have to split this pod into two because there's so much that we have to go through still. Yeah,
we're still on like part one. Yep,
we're still on part one, and there's so many little like there's all the you know, people's first roles, all these people in Hollywood. Look, there's Boyz II Men, there's this, there's, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard, Angela Bassett, etc., etc. So
Angela Bassett's first leading role. Yep,
first leading role. Right. So we get the family move there. The children come to the yard or whatever. Catherine gets over there, you know, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go see Diana Ross in it. She's like, oh my god, we're gonna go see Diana Ross. I'm not even made up, even though she's looking new. Her hair's all made up,
Right?
and
She's
she's
wearing
like,
white
I'm a
gloves.
mess.
Yeah.
I'm a mess.
Right.
Yeah.
Get my comb, Remy.
Yeah.
I gotta get my swimsuit.
And then Joe tries down. He's like, oh, no, this is business. This
Nope.
is business. This is a pool party only for business
Right.
people.
This is
Yeah.
a business pool party.
Yeah. No families allowed. Yeah.
Yep. But I do wonder though, like, I feel like that was poignant in showing that an immediate divide in what will be family and what will be business. But I do wonder now, knowing what I know and what we talked about last time, that Diana was at their house to greet Catherine when she first got in from California. I feel like that would have been nice to show in some kind of way, because and then like in the discourse between Catherine and Diana, because it's funny. I've seen people take it with, and Catherine had to remind her that was implied. There were implications. This is the thing that was implied. Catherine, in meeting her, did size her up, but did, like, we're good here and all that. But Catherine did and does have a respect of and with Diana that still stands today, in a way. And like, she was appreciative of her helping Michael and those times where those months that almost a year before she got to California. Michael went almost a year without his mother, and Diana stepped in and was that figure. And Catherine was grateful. And the two of them have had a quiet friendship that's started since then, really.
Yeah. Yeah, which then goes on as we see Diana Ross is performing, and then she invites Michael on the stage. Now, I've always wanted to know what performance this is and if this performance was
Me
real.
too.
Like, I didn't research. I've researched loads of bits, but I didn't get onto this bit or whatever. So in the comments, if you know, let us know. Give your sources. I want to know if that performance is real.
Yep.
Like,
the only thing close to that. Yeah.
Oh, no, go on.
I was gonna say the only thing close to that I could think of is when they perform on a Diana special, "Feeling All Right," and it's one of my most favorite moments when he yanks her out the way and says, "Watch this," and then I love it. She got her leg back. She throws him out the way. And then,
literally dashes him.
Yep. And they're manhandling each other out of the way. I feel like that's a great dynamic for the kind of stars they both were. Both gonna get in the middle for that spotlight. I love it.
Yeah, so I wanted to know if that performance was real, but for me, I had the same thing. But the thing is as well, because they done so many, like, side performances, non-recorded performances back in the day, I'm like, that could have been anything. But
and benefits.
Yeah, benefits as well, all those little things. Then we get they're recording I'll Be There, and then that's when Berry Gordy tells him the whole "just look over your shoulders, honey," and then Jackie, who's now Terrence Howard, who I think he says shoulder instead of shoulders or whatever, or shoulders instead of shoulder or whatever, and then Jackie reprimands him. And this is another thing which I'm like, it shows their relationship. Like, he's doing, even though he doesn't have as many of those moments as Terrence Howard, where he's doing the big brother thing there. And I think it's going to show where Joseph's like, when you're in the studio, you act a certain way, you behave a certain way. And him as the older brother is making sure that they do, because you always see the bits where they say, even in the new movie, it's like, Michael, stop dancing, stop moving, stop whatever, and da-da-da-da. And that kind of thing is still there. Do you know what I'm saying? But then as well, we get that Michael's always got the thing of mispronouncing words. He says the words how he feels it should sound in the song, that makes it sound right in the song. And I feel like when we get that moment from Berry Gordy, it's someone he's learned from, a mentor, saying, yeah, it don't matter that you fuck up the words. It's just how it feels. That was perfect. I love that.
Yep. He loved mistakes.
Then we get Rockin' Robin, which they're recording it at the wrong time. They didn't record that until like 2 years after this or whatever. They were probably just using Rockin' Robin because they wanted to use a recognizable, Jackson's or that era time song or whatever. But it's basically a scene similar to in the Michael movie where he's like, "Oh, what does this button do?" And then Joseph's like, "Hey, don't touch nothing." Yeah. And then Berry Gordy comes in and is like, he's like, "Hey, what does this button do?" or whatever. And I think one of the brothers, it might have been Jackie again, saying, "Stop asking so many questions," or something like that. And then Berry Gordy's like, "No, it's cool. Ask the questions. You know, if you know how much it costs, then you won't break it. Well, will you?" Innit? He's like, "Yeah, exactly." Then we start seeing them having this mentor / father-son relationship, and Joe just seeing from the distance, like, "Oh, so you can have this. You're starting to separate the family. You're trying to come in and fill my role. I'm the father around here." And he doesn't even say that. It's just the look that he's giving from across the way, and you know what's coming. You know what he's thinking in his mind. Like, you're trying to separate my family. Like, right. So they do that. Then we get a bit of Tito and Dee Dee, and then we get Catherine again on the phone to Joseph or whatever. And basically, yeah, you know, I'm not home. It is what it is. I've got to do what I've got to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Then we get them. The Jacksons going on tour. We get the stage flooding. I also want to know what performance that was, and if it was, because I hear about things happening all the time, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like if there was a flooding of the performance, I would be seeing the newspaper articles, and I would be seeing, and maybe not footage, but there'll be more recollection of it.
I feel like that, I don't want to say the form, but yeah, I don't know if I've heard of a show getting interrupted, a show that they weren't able to finish the show because their stage got stormed in that kind of way. But that is what was common to happen when they would leave the venue, when they would be done with the show. That I've heard fans running backstage when the show's over. They'll hop the stage and beat security, hop around security to do that. And I love that the movie showed that perspective. I mean, the miniseries showed that perspective because the movie lacked that. It's another perspective that the movie lacked, in that as appreciative as Michael was of his fans, as the family was of their fans, that shit was scary as hell. that looked like a zombie movie type. I always love. I'm gonna text it to you right now. It's a shot when the guys go down the hallway and they're fully removed. There's one extra. She's a shorter one. Her hair is in a French roll. She has a side bang. The way that girl was taking that job seriously in her mind, that was the real Michael Jackson. The look on her face when she shoved who's supposed to be the security. That shit is scary. And to be a kid, and you have to walk that fine line of like, oh, I'm so loved and so appreciated, but they're storming me. They're
literally tearing me apart, Lisa.
Right, they're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah, literally.
Right.
Literally.
And that's something missing from the context of so many things when it comes to Michael and his relationship with fans, of like, it never stopped. Once that started, it never went away. He never wasn't popular. He never could just be a common person again like that. It was always that. Like, yeah. And I'm glad that the miniseries did great in showing that. I feel like that kind of pandemonium in that way, because of course the movie has him standing on the limo, but they don't have the scary, like I said, I was a kid watching that, and that shit was scary. That shit was like, damn.
I think even Susan Day Pass in that bit says, I haven't seen this since Beatles Mania or whatever.
Yep.
And I think I think in going back to if you watch the Going Back to Indiana special, it does a good job of showing the fans chasing down the Jacksons like before and after shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And that limo scene, there's always a famous clip of them in the limo. I feel like that's like the first time they arrived to that they got off the plane, and that was waiting for them. That's the closest thing I think that I've seen to that being executed like that. And we see the inside shot of the limo, and those boys look scared as hell. Like, oh wow, this is a lot. So
yeah. Then we get the hotel room chaos, which is another where we get to see them pranking each other, pillow fights. Do you know what I'm saying? All them messing about on tour. And this is where it is, as much as this is where when Michael says, you know, I never got no childhood, I never went out or whatever, I only got to be with my brothers. This is what happened with his brothers. And I think this is what Joseph always went, well, look, he's got his brothers. They're doing all that. They're fine. Like, what more do you need? Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas
agreed.
They might have looked at it more like, well, yeah, I would like to go out and just chill with you. Do you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is. Like, for Joe, the bare minimum was enough. Do you know what I'm saying? Yep. You're playing, you're having fun with your brothers. It's cool. What do you need anyone else for? Then Jermaine getting moved to by a fan. So he's already caught in. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. And I swear Jermaine was like one of the lead executive producers on this as well. Yeah. So he had no problem going. He had no problem saying, hey, show this bit where I was gonna cheat on Berry Gordy's on Hazel Gordy. But I didn't. But I could have. And I probably did. But let's just show it like I didn't. Yeah. Like, come on. This guy Jermaine, fam. The ego is so big.
It's huge. It's huge. Still is.
Shout out the Germ
My
Nation.
goodness. Yep. The germs.
Yeah, the germs. Do you know what? It's funny as well, because that's the bit where obviously like Michael and Marlon are under the bed and they start feeling up her leg or whatever. And he's like, my hands are up here. No, I was kissing you, but that's it or whatever. And then obviously they give themselves away laughing and they run off.
Wait. Shout out to Jermaine Jr. in that scene playing Jermaine. Because how weird is it? You're playing your father cheating on your mother.
I know, right?
The psychology of that.
I know, right? And even there was a scene where in the beginning when Joseph and Catherine are getting together, and I swear one of Jermaine's songs starts playing the first time that they sleep together, and I went, ain't it a bit weird that it's your song that your mum and you're playing for your mum and your dad banging or whatever?
Right.
But then I went if I remove the perviness out of it and I go,
yep,
this is what me and my brothers were conceived to. This is where the love started. Then I'm going, okay.
Yep. And to be fair, it was montage, so it's them walking in the park, holding hands.
It started on that.
That's
bit.
right.
It started on that. Bit.
Close your eyes. Don't be afraid. I do love that song. Jermaine Jackson and Sarita Wright. Yep.
Yeah. Good. You got the references because I didn't know.
Oh, I always like that song. I have a theory. I'm sorry, Germs. I'm sorry, Germ Nation. But Jermaine's best songs are duets because Jermaine is competitive as fuck, and he's gonna show out on his duets, on either his duets or songs that have someone else in the background, like Let's Get Serious with Stevie Wonder. So all of my favorite, I could do a top 10 Jermaine best songs, but I don't think one of them is going to be just Jermaine. Best songs to me are all duets, and he got some hey, it's not even, he's got banger duet. He brought out his best when he was duetting.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. I think there's a couple of solo ones that could get in there.
Yeah.
But a lot of his best ones are duets. Like, even like Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming is one.
Oh my God. Oh my, yes. Woo. Let me tell you, I use the Dynamite album for two songs the most.
It's Dynamite.
Yep. I like that one too. I like Dynamite, but Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming and Take Good Care. He he and Whitney, they're on different pages vocally, but he bought out his best. He said, "Wait now, I'm not no slouch now, Whitney. You Whitney, but I'm Jermaine too."
I'm
And so
Jermaine.
he was giving the ground. Yeah, he was giving the growls, and when he came to Whitney,
Yeah, and even I'll tell you this: I think Jermaine Jackson Jr. played Jermaine better than Colin Steele played Jermaine.
agreed, absolutely. And Colin looked like Jermaine, but it's that Jermaine Jr. knows his dad, and it because Jermaine's marriage to Hazel, they were married for a very long time. I dare say it was maybe his longest marriage. So so Jermaine Jr. he has a I'll shoot, there's the new version of Jermaine's book coming out. I want Jermaine Jr.'s book. Shoot, like what was that like? What's that story?
I want Your
that's a story there.
Majesty's book.
Oh, Your Majesty's book. Oh
Just 'cause
boy,
I just want to see the name on the front of the book. Your
right?
Majesty.
Oh my goodness, what would Your Majesty's title be?
Do you know what I'm saying? Your Majesty,
Yes.
the magistrate of Jermaine.
Oh, see, that's the title right there. You gave it the title.
Right. So then we get Latoya is at the yard with her friends over from, or I don't know if it's friends or it's the fan club. It's the Jacksons fan club.
Yeah, it's a fan club.
And Catherine's like, yeah, well, we got to be nice to them or whatever. But at the same time, she's on the phone to Joe going, "Where my boys? I want to know where my boys are."
Yep.
I don't know why this is my Catherine voice. Where my boys? Where my boys at? Yeah. Joseph, where's my boys?
I am their mother. I am their mother. I have the right to know.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, business, innit? It's business and that. We're out of here. And then he hangs up on her with the fans there witnessing everything. And Latoya's not happy about it. And then we was talking just before we started recording, yeah. I was like, one of these fans looks like Janet. I'm going to put the shot of her here. She looks like Janet. She looks like Janet. When I was younger, I thought it was Janet. I thought it was Latoya, Janet, and where. No, it's not. It's just a girl that looked like Janet.
Right.
That's in the fan club thing.
And you know what? That scene is actually good for a little bit of context too, in that Latoya did not have friends. And she's talked about that and it was similar with Janet, that they had a very interesting perspective of people wanting or trying to be their friends just to get that position of getting in that house. But Catherine wanted Latoya to have friends, so she would have dinner parties for teenage girls of the fan club like that when the brothers weren't home. And Catherine saw it as a mutual thing. A thank you to the fans, and maybe this will get Latoya some friends and stuff. And Catherine was a little similar to Joe in that way, where it's like, you just don't get it. It don't work like that, and everything.
Yeah.
And so, and it's to me, Latoya is a very complex figure, and that's one of the aspects of her background that leads to her being a very complex figure. Is that from a very early age, your brothers go from being your brothers, 6 of them packed in a 2-bedroom house. You sleep in the living room because you don't have a room in this house, to now they are the biggest group in the world, and people want to know you just for access to them. People fight you because you have access to them. Like that's interesting. It is an interesting perspective to come from.
Yeah, and I think when they did make their moves to CBS and started writing their own music and stuff like that, you started to see more reflections of that in the music that they were actually writing.
Yes.
Like, would you mean you want to be my friend for no reason?
Yep.
And I think this is something, because a lot of people, they tend to maybe not go back to the older stuff or whatever, or they're not interested in the stuff that isn't Michael by himself or whatever. But I definitely recommend, especially the later albums when they're writing their own music, that
Mhm.
you actually start to see that kind of stuff, especially in
Yes.
Destiny, Triumph,
Yes.
those two albums. Like you start seeing what the process of Michael as an adult, as a songwriter, things that are affecting his life or whatever. Like Things I Do For You, it sounds just like
Oh my goodness,
a
yes.
party tune or whatever. But if you actually listen to the lyrics of the song, you're like, hold on, wait a minute. I can't even remember the song. I can't even remember the lyrics of the song off the top of my head right now.
Mhm. Got me
Always wanting
dancing
something
and
for
screaming
nothing.
and yep.
You
Oh,
know, so
I
always
was just
wanting
something
something.
completely.
Always wanting something for nothing. Especially, that's another one where he says the word wrong. Especially what they don't
Yep.
deserve. Reaching in my pocket, I just got to stop it. Ain't they got a lot of nerve? These are bars, bro.
Yep.
Bars. Yeah. So if you
Yep.
actually go back and listen, and that one, it should be easy for you. Bad Tour Yokohama. Yeah, he does that. He does that shit there. Yeah, some of you should know it.
Mhm.
You start to see what it is that they're actually living in when they're actually producing their own music,
Yep.
and
Walk
you get a
right
lot of that
now.
walk. Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, there's a live performance of that, and I must see it.
What?
There's a live performance of that, and I must see it.
Hook us up. Someone. I need to see that too.
There
Oh
is
my God.
a
Walk
book. Look,
right now.
basically, because I was watching. I remember one time. This might have been a year or 2 years ago. It was basically audio leaked from the rehearsals of the Triumph tour, and Walk Right
Whoa.
Now. There was a rehearsal of that. Yeah. So forward a bit ago, it might have been a couple of months ago. I'm going through looking through my Jackson. I've got to find new Jackson's performances.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I find one performance. I'll link it as well below if I remember. Um, I think from the first leg of the Triumph tour, where he's got the red trousers and like the cowboy tassels or whatever.
Yeah.
And what happens? Walk Right Now starts. It starts. I've seen it live in my face. I'm
Oh.
hearing the music. I'll send you the link after if I find it. Yeah. There it starts. The tape cuts off and it starts back at the next song. What?
We need it. We need it. We
What?
need it.
Walk Right Now. It's there. It's
Oh,
there. And I remember reading in
oh
the
my
comments,
goodness.
someone was like, Jackie Jackson's got that tape. I've seen it at his house. I watched it. And I went, none.
Why are they holding out? Why are they holding out on us?
This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Walk Right Now. Yeah. That's what. Please. And then
It's so
even the other
good.
day, I don't know, there was another a leak of footage from that concert, or not that concert, but from that tour, first leg of the
Triumph.
Triumph tour, and the footage is HD as hell. This leak just happened like a couple days ago, a few days
Yeah.
ago. I'll send it to
Wow.
you, and I'll probably show it here so everyone can see. It looks new. Where there's no audio from it, it's like one track and then just snippets from different parts of the performance. So I'm just like, that means the whole thing's available. The whole thing's there somewhere.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Because it's what we were talking about earlier, where they would study every performance. I've heard that confirmed for both Janet and Michael, where it's like I'm not surprised, just in that every show, it wasn't enough that it just got filmed. It got filmed in the best of quality so that they could study it for the best of quality. There is a treasure trove of tours and performances we could have. That why won't they hook us up? I wish they
they're
would
lying to
hook
us.
us up.
They're lying to us.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
lying to us.
Are they still studying it? Are they still studying? Like, is Jackie there? Like, nope. I'm never gonna live this down. I'm never gonna. Nope. I missed that spin right there. Mother was right.
I know, right? What about time? I'm never going to live that down, but it doesn't matter because you can watch this Walk Right Now performance. Yeah,
Yep.
even if you made a mistake in it, you can still watch it 100 times. I can't watch it 0
That's
times.
right.
Yeah, I can only
Yep.
watch the first 3 seconds or whatever it is. Watch,
Right.
and then soon you'll be able to see that first 3 seconds. You can feel the pain. Yeah.
Yep. I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Right. So then we get yeah. So then we get Michael performs his blues routine, and it kind of just shows, oh yeah, I can perform beyond my age. That's me.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
Tito announces his engagement, and then Joe's not having none of it. He's just sitting there with his sunglasses on in the newspaper, makes Dee Dee cry or whatever, and then that's kind of the end of part one, basically.
Yep.
That's kind of the end of part. That took ages.
Yeah. Right. Man.
That took ages. But yeah, that's the end of part one. Yeah. So we're gonna save part two for part two and the breakdown and comparison with the Michael movie for next week, because we already got, how long is this? 2 hours. We've got 2 hours. Yeah.
Hey,
We've
you're
got
fun to
2
talk
hours.
to, so I love it.
Hey, the time flies. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
say it really flies because it's bloody 3 o'clock in the morning. But hey, it is
Oh
what it is.
man. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
It is what it is. But
Yep.
right. So what we'll do is we'll leave that here for today, and then next week, which it will be next week and not 2 weeks. Yeah. Next week we'll pick up from where we've left off today. We'll do the rest of the mini series, and then we'll do the comparison with Michael. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds
like a plan. Right.
Yep.
Tell the people where they can find you on the socials.
All right. You can find me at jfro90 on Instagram, the platform formerly known as Twitter X. I'm loving Threads now. Threads has really, and I feel like amongst Michael fans and people of color, Black folks, Threads, we're kind of taking over Threads, and I'm living for that. I'm really liking that.
I agree with you.
I haven't posted that much on there, but I am loving going there and seeing what the discourse is, and I like so much on there. So Threads, you can find me on Facebook. My full name is Jarryl Fordham. I have the personal profile and page. Like both, be at friends. I don't care. Anyway, just if you like me, I rock with you. So I appreciate that. So absolutely.
And you can find me at Just Josh TV on YouTube and TikTok, and Just Josh Media on Instagram. That's the main one. That's the one I'm mostly active on. And TikTok, kind of, I'm trying to, and whatever. And yeah, I'm
trying with TikTok too. Yeah.
I'm trying. But TikTok's got annoying. It keeps either I keep getting copyright or bad. Like I had a video that I put up, and then I put it up, and then it didn't activate until 4 days later, because it was basically at a parade, because my team won the league or whatever. And it was probably people using flares and stuff like that. And they were like, we've restricted this because of violence or something. I was like, what? This is just a bot that's seen this and is blocking my shit for no reason. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I always say that I'm going to be loading bare clips on the Moontalkers Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and I haven't done anything. But it's not my well, it is my fault. But it's just because there's bare stuff happening, and I can only stretch myself so far. Yeah. But the main thing is that I just get the podcasts out. That's the main thing. Yeah. The little clips and stuff. If you've watched the podcast already, you've already seen the clips, most likely. Do you know what I'm saying? So you ain't missing nothing that you already saw. So make sure you follow the Moontalkers podcast on Instagram and TikTok and Spotify, where it also exists. And still not Apple Mute. I swear I've been saying this since the last time you was on here. Still not Apple Podcasts, because it just don't work for whatever reason. But I'm trying every week. Right, people. We'll catch you next week. The Moontalkers store is now open. Head over and grab your new MJ merch to help support the channel.